Hey, man. Hey, man, they got a lot of debating out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? I figure people be like, oh, that man be making up his stories about a bang, I figure it's about time. I just show y'all what I really be doing. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody be like, oh, his stories made up. His stories all sound the same. I explain to y'all that I tell stories. I don't narrate stories. I don't get a piece of paper. I ain't even got no paper around here. I don't get no piece of paper and sit here and read the story to you. I tell a story. So I'm gonna tell y'all where I'm at. I'm working on a story called Get Out. This is a member story. I'm gonna release a part of it on YouTube. And it's a story from a barber in New Orleans who had to switch his shops. And because he had to switch shops, he started experiencing paranormal activity. Make sure I got my stuff in here squared away. Who just called me? Who want to test me, boy? Who want to test me? Boom, bakla. All right. And so I started recording yesterday, and then I had to stop because it was Bible study time. So I'm gonna hit record. I record on my phone. Let me show you. Okay, how to feel. See, that's the phone in there. So you can see what it is, as opposed to what people tell you it is. And by the way, my challenge to anybody in the cryptid field is still open. You feel like you're a better storyteller than me? Pardon my language, bitch. What's happening? Let's do it. You understand what I'm saying? All that yibba yabbing. You better than me? What's happening? Straight up. Stop talking. Be about it. Tired of people disrespecting the founders of shit around here. All right, picking up where I left off. Yeah. So like I was saying, I move in the shop, and the first problem I walk into is that Negroes is being Negroes. I mean, I get one or two clients come over. Understand, it was so packed in my barbershop that Tuesday through Saturday, it was people in there. There were people coming in there just for their lunch break. But I move locations, and all of a sudden, because I'm 2-3 miles away, can't nobody come over here. This goes on for about a solid month, right? And then things get back to normal. We sitting in there laughing, playing around, joking. These dudes going off, talking about each other, talking about their mamas. One dude said, man, you so fat, you take insulin shots at the strip club. Another dude talking about, man, you so fat, you got breast milk, you got breast moisture on your, damn it. That's fucking hilarious. Man, you so fat, you got breast moisture on your belly. I mean, these dudes going off, it's back to normal, right? And I remember it being back to normal that day before this started to happen. I closed up the shop at like 10:30. And this is the very first time I saw a shadow person. I'm sweeping up, going back and forth. I go by the front door, work my way halfway through the shop, work my way to the back side of the shop. And I see what looks like a man dressed in all black standing outside of my window. Now, I need you to understand my shop. Now, I need you to understand my shop was in the hood. So if I see somebody dressed in all black, I'm thinking they coming to do me something. So I rush to the front door, open it up, ready to confront. So I rush to the front door, open it up, ready to confront the person, look out there, and there's nobody. Talk about feeling paranoid, but I go back inside. Now I'm cleaning the countertops, getting all the hair up, cleaning my clippers. Look over again, and he's standing there again. This time, I'm realizing, hold on. Not only is this a shadow of a person, I can see through this shadow to the other side of the street. And then it disappears right in front of my eyes. Now, I'm going to say this to you. Born and raised in New Orleans. We see creepy, crazy stuff all the time. So for me to see that and come to the realization that it's not a person, that's the point where I decided, you know what? I don't play with none of them ghosts and none of them demons. I'm going to ignore it, right? Oh, worst decision on the planet. The next morning, I come to work and there's a water spot on the ceiling. I need to explain something to you. We have a flat roof. And so since we have a flat roof, I'm thinking there's a roof leak. And since we have a flat roof, I'm thinking there's a roof leak. So I call, why is my coffee messing with my throat? So since it's a flat roof, there's a roof leak. And so I call the landlord and I'm like, listen, man, you rented me this place, but the roof is leaking. He goes on to explain to me that it's a brand new roof on a building. I tell him he needs to come out here and look at this spot on the ceiling. So he comes over, checks it out, looks at it, and says, hey, man, this is not coming from the ceiling. I promise you, this is a brand new roof. Watch this. Over the next couple of days, that spot on the ceiling moves locations. And understand, I'm not telling my customers or clients anything about this. They coming in as normal, but I'm the only one observing the fact that this spot on the ceiling is moving. And when I say a spot, it's like a water stain on the ceiling, but it's moving locations. I go home and I talk to my wife about it. I said, baby, listen, I don't know what's going on in this new shop, but I'm seeing shadow people outside. And there's a water spot on the ceiling that continues to move around. She goes on to explain to me. Now, as I'm explaining this to my wife, she goes on to explain to me that maybe there's something paranormal or supernatural going on. But I'm not going to tell you I don't believe in the paranormal or the supernatural. I'm just saying, as a black man from New Orleans, I don't play none of that foolishness. So I'm not entertaining it, if you can get what I'm saying. I go back to the shop and things are a tad bit worse. Now, if you've ever been in a barbershop, you know that there's a place where you hang. Damn it. Now, if you've ever been in a barbershop, you know there's a place where you hang all your clippers. So that night before I left, I hung up all my clippers in a certain order. And that's color coded: red, gray, green, red, gray, green, blue. When I come back, my colors are out of order. It's not in the order that I put it in. And I need you to understand, nobody has a key to this shop but me. And I also need you to understand, I'm the only person that, and I also need you to understand, I've been doing this consistently for years. This is my color code. And it's done that way for a reason. Well, I come back in and the colors are out of order. I notice it immediately. Then I go into the bathroom and there's toilet tissue all over the place. But not like just regular toilet tissue that somebody pulled the roll of toilet tissue. It's wet toilet tissue all over the place. Here's the craziest thing. There's no sign of where water itself leaked. But this toilet tissue is wet. It's all on the ceiling. It's all on the walls. And it's all on the floor. Talk about stuff that don't make no sense. I'm talking about talk about stuff that don't make no sense. I'm talking about we go to cuckoo land. That day, my clients come in, everything goes smooth. They're back to joking, clowning, laughing, being themselves. And it was that night that I realized that I was going to have to get out. I'm sorry. I had to leave this place. I was not interested in being in a situation like this, because it's me and my last client. And he's my oldest client. The guy works as a sheriff. Oh man, why is this? I shouldn't have drunk that coffee. This shit is killing me. The guy works as a sheriff. He's sitting in a chair, and I'm just getting through doing his haircut. I take the cape off. I'm dusting off his hair. I take the cape off and dusting the hair from around his collar, and we're talking. When there's an audible voice comes from the ceiling that says, "Get out." Now, pause right here. Let me say this. If you are not, now pause right here. Let me say this. You have to understand. How can I say this? I'm just going to say it the way he said it. Now, pause right here and let me say this. We black folks, and see this whole ghost, demon, monster shit, we don't play that. And I need you to understand the rent is cheap. I mean, rent is really cheap. But when they got some shit screaming at you from the ceiling that you need to get out, when you seeing shadows running outside of your window, and when you seeing water spots moving around on the ceiling, it's best that your nigga ass, I can't say that like that. It's best that your Negro behind get out. Yeah, it'd be so hard to say stuff certain ways because YouTube, it'd be so hard to say stuff because YouTube be tripping. But what he said was, it's best that your nigga ass get out. I got broads in Atlanta, Lexia, Panda, credit cards and the scanners. Move the audio, move the audio. The Stinkonian ambassador, yeah, that's me. I'm the one and only Stinkonian ambassador. All the lizard people press 1 in the chat. Oh no, calling people think I be lying, bro. I don't. You can call me and tell me your story. We're gonna talk, and I'm gonna spit your story just like that. So imagine how long it takes when I do something like Operation Black Sun. People be like, "Oh, I want more content. You should do more." I'm like, bro, you go listen to somebody who's gonna read some shit off a piece of paper. But for the record, for anybody in the cryptid community that think they're a storyteller, bruh, you're more than welcome to bring your ass and get annihilated. All right. Uploading. There we go. I look like your boxing coach. What? Good that you boxing, homie. You can put hands on somebody. You really need to understand how to put hands on a man and beat him everywhere except for the bottom of his feet if they play games with you. No Diddy. I mean that, no Diddy, bro. Not beat, I mean no Diddy. I never was into the whole pause thing. Like, a lot of y'all, my youngins will be like, yeah, Unc, you got to say pause. I'm like, dude, I don't say no pause. You know what I'm saying? I'm moving these over. Excuse me. Yeah, ain't nobody no old head say pause, man. Like, I remember having a conversation with them saying, he's like, you got to say pause. I'm like, no, bro. So what you trying to get me to do is I'm supposed to be concerned about how you interpret my words to the point to where I got to prove to you that I'm not a certain way. I know who I am. You the one with the messed up mind that the way your brain processes it is I need to say pause. You need to pause on the way you thinking, not me pause on the way I'm speaking. But it's kind of like, you know, the celebrities do something and everybody and their mama want to do something. I know what I am. I don't need to explain to you that I'm not a certain way. Why am I getting... All right. Yeah, dudes still saying in their 30s because they're tards, man. Like, and you're not concerned about the quality of what I'm talking about. You're concerned about the phrasing of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And it's actually a psychological operation is what it was and what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to prove that you're not something. The way you carry yourself proves certain things. And if you don't, then you got a problem. You know what I'm saying? You got a major problem. All right. I wanted to do that live because I'm sick and tired of people saying, oh, all his stories sound the same. Bruh, the stories sound the same because it's me telling the story. It's not me narrating a story. So you go to listen to some of the best narrators, like what's his name? I mean, that dude's fire, like Mr. Nightmare. That dude reading something off a piece of paper. So it doesn't factor in, any part of his personality, any part of his lingo, any part of anything that's a part of him is never included in it. It's just on January 18th, 1976, I was born in the hospital, blah, 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 blah. And so there's no factors. There's no way where he factors into it. You know what I'm saying? It's anybody. He can pick up a book. He can read a dictionary. It's going to sound the same. The way I factor into the storytelling is I factor in with my ability to communicate. So you get the mixture of that person's story plus my communication skills, which is if you sat down with me and smoked a cigar, you'd be like, okay, nah, he ain't making up nothing. This is how this dude talk. And because he's telling a story, he's just talking to me. And that's it. And there's a difference between storytelling and narrating. Let me say this. I want to be clear. When it comes to like live storytelling for the cryptid community, like when we started this back in the day, there was interviews. There was Vic Cundiff, interview guy. Britton Salwin, interview guy. Me going anywhere on any show with the ability to tell stories live. Still have that same ability and highly sought after because of that ability. I've created a whole entire lane inside of the cryptid Bigfoot Dogman community where people can just get on and make a career of telling stories. That's the grass that I cut for the cryptid community. Point blank, period. Respect it or check it. It is what it is. That's what this Negro did. He opened the door for anybody else to come in and just say, hey, I'm a storyteller at a high level. Some people don't ever get to that level, but I mean flat out. And if you look around, there's very few people who do that. There's people who, like, for example, you take a Mr. Ballin. Like Mr. Ballin tells stories. They're part of a script, but he's phenomenal at it. My boy, What Lurks Beneath, he tells stories. It's a part of a script. It's a scripted story. What I do is in its own lane. It's outside of what other people do. This is just what I do. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't believe me, there's evidence out there. You go back to hell. I don't know, any interview that I've been on. This is what I do. So I get a little bit tired of the confusion and the comparisons that people make. There is no comparison. You don't make no comparison to somebody who's in their own lane. That's just how it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? I pull up from half court, swish. You dig? All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to go ahead and run this through the system, pull it out, drop it over there, swish, and make it happen.